Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Tech Drop-In. I'll be your host for this session. This week, we'll be going over Megaport Cloud Router Cloud Connectivity for the week of April 4th, 2025. So a little bit about myself. My name's Brian Bauman. I'm a solution architect at Megaport. I'm based out of Phoenix, Arizona, and below you can find my contact information. If you want to reach out to me, contact me, ask me any additional questions. You can look me up on LinkedIn, and I'll be sure to get back to you and answer any of your questions. All right, so let's get started. So high level, Megaport is a network as a service company. We operate a software-defined network. It is global, and we have connectivity to over 930 data centers globally. We're not just in a Equinix data center. We're in over 100 different data centers, unique data center operators. So we offer services out of all of the Digital Realty's Equinix core sites. So we're not just in one single data center. We have over 280 on-ramps to the cloud. So we are the most connected network as a service company to cloud service providers. And those cloud service providers include the AWS, the Azure, Oracle, Google, IBM. That's just to name the big, the top five, but there's also dozens or hundreds of other network service providers, cloud service providers that we can offer connectivity to as well. We offer on-demand connectivity that's completely flexible, right? So you can build that connectivity on demand. You can increase the bandwidth, decrease the bandwidth. And like I said, it is on demand and able to be spun up in a minute or less. We operate a global private backbone, so we have connectivity in North America, EMEA. We just turned up Sao Paulo, so we're in South America now, and we have APAC covered in Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Australia and New Zealand, right? And so we originated in Australia over a decade ago, so we're based out of Brisbane. But we can provide network connectivity globally in less than a minute. Our network is fully redundant, so all of our data center locations are connected with diverse connectivity, and any of your traffic that is traversing our network, if we lose a path on our backbone, it's dynamically going to route around it, so it's inherently protected across our backbone. Some of the services that we offer would be data center to cloud. So out of one of our data center locations, you can spin up connectivity to a cloud service provider. You can spin up connectivity between clouds. So, between Azure and AWS, you can spin up on-demand private network connectivity. And then we also offer data center to data center. So if you want to connect your two data centers together, you can spin up on-demand connectivity between your two data center locations. We offer Virtual Edge, which is Megaport's Virtual Edge. It's our compute on the edge of our software-defined global network. It's network function virtualization platforms. You can deploy your own license. So for instance, you can put a VeloCloud SD-WAN appliance license on our compute, or a Cisco router or firewall, Palo Alto, Fortinet. We offer a bunch of different vendors that you can add to our Virtual Edge, and then essentially creating a virtual POP at the edge of our network for you to set up firewall policies or terminate SD-WAN tunnels on. And then we offer internet exchanges as well. So I think we're in over 27 different internet exchanges where you can set up bilateral or multilateral connectivity. These are, with the services we offer, there are building blocks for the connectivity. So you can customize a solution that works specifically for your use case. And so some of those building blocks would include access. So these would be the foundational building blocks. So we offer ports, which are high-speed Ethernet interfaces that come in 1, 10, and 100 gig ports. You can set those up as a standalone port, or you can set them up in diversity zones. We offer diversity zones at most of our locations where you can have a complete diverse solution created using one of our ports or redundant ports. You can set them up in a lag configuration if you wanted to build, for instance, a 20 gig lag, or we offer up to 80 gig lags, for instance, on a 10 gig service. So you could bundle 8 10 gig circuits together. So there's a lot of different options as far as creating ports. That is what you start off with. Like if you wanted to connect at your data center, you would spin up a port, order a cross connect. So as soon as that port is spun up, you can download our LOA CFA and then take it to the data center operator and get your equipment connected to our port. It takes about 2 to 5 days to get that cross connect installed. But other than that, that's the longest point of our implementation process. After that, after you're connected to that port, you can spin up connectivity using a VXC to, all to cloud service providers, to internet, to our marketplace. So VXC is the connectivity. It's a Ethernet virtual private line. We call it a virtual cross connect, but it's essentially an Ethernet virtual private line that allows you to connect access components together or connect an access component to another endpoint. We offer MCR, which is our Megaport Cloud Router. That is our easy button, our platform as a service, layer 3, BGP speaking router that you can spin up on demand, connect two cloud service providers together, for instance, and then transfer data out of AWS and into Oracle. For instance, if you have an application running in AWS and it needs to communicate with the database in Oracle, you can deploy a Megaport Cloud Router on demand, connect it to AWS, connect it to Oracle, and in a matter of minutes, and start transferring data over private network. And then the Megaport Virtual Edge, that's what I explained earlier. It's our network function virtualization platform at the edge of our software-defined global network that you can deploy vendor licenses to for network function. And again, so the VXC is the connector. We offer Megaport Internet and Internet Exchange, and we're in our marketplace. We have hundreds of different cloud service providers, different AI, DDoS mitigation. There's a lot of different vendors inside of our marketplace that you could connect to and utilize their service. There's probably a lot in there that you're already using today. And then Service Key allows you to do cross-account connectivity. So if you're in Megaport and you have a partner that's also in Megaport, you can connect your partner to your access component to get connectivity to their environment using a service key. All right, I just want to kind of throw in some diagrams because I feel like a picture helps paint the paint the picture better than words do sometimes. So this right here is our data center to data center connectivity. In this diagram, I've got redundant or diverse ports in the red and blue diversity zones. Those ports, like I said, can be 1, 10, or 100. You can spin up a virtual circuit on demand to another data center. So this is a fully diverse data center to data center connection. These VXCs can be set up as a .1 queue, so essentially each virtual circuit gets its own VLAN, so you can add additional VLANs to here if you wanted to go to other destinations, or you can set it up as untagged if you just need to connect these two locations together. In this diagram here, I'm just illustrating that the ability to connect multiple cloud service providers to a single port, right? Each one of these is a different VLAN. This destination over here could be another data center, could be the internet, could be a marketplace partner. I'm just using the 3 cloud service provider here as an example. And this right here is the Megaport Cloud Router. I have them built in separate data centers, so this is a fully diverse solution. I've got this cloud router in the DRT Phoenix location, this cloud router in the Phoenix NAP location, and then I've got connectivity to Azure and Oracle at diverse on-ramps. So we're already pre-configured to all these different cloud service providers. These are either a 4 by 10 gig lag or a 100 gig connection that's already connected into these different cloud service providers. So that's what enables you to spin up connectivity on demand and get your Azure environment connected to your Oracle environment. You can also connect it into a data center. So in this instance right here, the customer's data center is now connected to the Megaport Cloud Router, And this one single location now can communicate with both cloud service providers, and both cloud service providers can communicate directly with each other. This is a virtual private domain, so um, you can you get your own route table, and you can set up different functionality as far as prefix filters to filter, different routes in. There's a lot of functionality built into this device. And then the last device here is a Megaport Virtual Edge. This is our network function virtualization platform that I've got Palo Alto here deployed at the edge of our software-defined global network. This allows you to then get local offices. These could be branch or headquarters offices local to, in this instance, this is Ashburn, Virginia. This is in Phoenix, Arizona. So now instead of writing over the internet between these locations across the United States, you can just connect into Megaport Virtual Edge locally. So you have a local internet connection just within the metro market. And then you use private network connectivity to route between the two locations. So you're getting a more reliable private network connection. So it's more secure because it's over private network, and it's reliable because you're getting a dedicated bandwidth across the US between these devices. Also, you can spin up connectivity to cloud service providers. Okay, that was a lot of information. So just want to, give you a chance if you want to ask any questions, feel free to put them in chat, and we'll get to them. So I'm going to go into a live demo, and then let's go into that demo. Lost my ability to there. All right. So I'm going to start off by going into the portal. Can you still see my screen? Just want to make sure. Okay. So this is the Megaport portal. You can manage your services from here. You can see this is in a demo account, so there's a lot of services already built here. You can manage your services straight from here. You can see your network connectivity. These are clusters of data centers in specific regions. You can zoom into those locations, expand them, and manage your service right out of a data center or out of this view here. This gives you an overview of all of the network services. So we've got ports, MCRs, MVEs built in this demo portal. If this was your account, right, it would just show your services that are built in here. You can also manage the services straight from the service tab here. You can see there's a lot of stuff built in here in this demo account. So I'm going to start off with building a this service here. So I just wanted to give you a high-level overview. So this is the Megaport Cloud Router, and I've got a connection to AWS, connection to Google from my Megaport Cloud Router, and then I've got my Neutrality Kansas City data center connected into. So I'm going to build this solution for you in the portal. So first, I'm going to start off with building a cloud router. So I'm going to build that cloud router in Equinix DC4. So you can search by Equinix, or you can just put in the data center in our search menu, and I'm going to build it in the blue diversity zone. So click on the data center, and I'm going to select a limit, right? So our cloud router comes in 1, 2.5, 5, 10, 25 gig, 50 gig, and 100 gig. I'm going to build a 10 gig cloud router. I'm going to give it a name. So this is my DC4 MCR. And I can select a term. So we offer no minimum term, 1 month or 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. And then I'm going to give it a BGP ASN. You can use any private BGP ASN that you want, or your own BGP ASN. You can set it up in an enabled state or shut down. So if you have production services that you're going to connect to this and you don't want it to automatically start, bringing up BGP, you can do it, when you're ready. You can bring it up in a shutdown state. I'm just going to bring it up in an enabled state. And then I'm going to add MCR. Now I've got my MCR. You can see it over here. It's setting in a shopping cart. So it's not actually deployed yet. It's kind of just giving you like what's built and what's available, but I can still start adding services to this. So I'm going to start off with creating a connection to AWS. So I can add the connection here from this quick menu using one of these tiles, or I can go up in here to connections to add it. Just click here. So it goes into AWS. I can click hosted connection or hosted VIF. Hosted connection allows you to connect to, for instance, a transit gateway where a hosted VIF wouldn't. So I'm going to use hosted connection. These are the on-ramps available that we can connect to from that location. It gives you the local to the, by millisecond connectivity. So you can see all of the options. I'm going to connect this one out of core site in Reston, Virginia. It's 1 millisecond away. So this is my AWX and VXC. I'm going to give it a rate limit. I'll just do a gig on this one. We offer, in some locations, depending on your access method, with AWS, we can support up to 25 gig, but because I built a 10 gig cloud router, you're only going to see 10 gig as the max. We can go up to 25 if you build, for instance, a 25 gig cloud router or a 100 gig port. So I've got a 1 gig circuit here. Again, I can set it up enabled or shut down. We offer no minimum term, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year terms. Click next. I'm going to build the configuration. So I'm going to give this a 192.168.30.1/30. And I can add packet filters in here. So if I want to allow specific routes through and deny everything else, then I can configure these filters. So if I don't configure anything, it's just going to allow everything through. But I can make it specific on what I want to enable, what I want to see for both inbound and outbound. I'm going to add BGP to my AWS configuration. So my local IP, my peer IP is going to be 192.168.30.2. My peer ASN is 64517. That's my BGP or my AWS Direct Connect Gateway BGP ASN. I'll give it a password, and I'm going to give that Megaport. And you can view the password. And then I'm going to leave it in an enabled state, click add. And now I've got my BGP configuration set in there. I'm not going to do static routing because I'm using BGP. Now I just need to give my AWS account number. So I'm going to go into my AWS account, grab my account ID, come back in here, paste it, and click next. And then I'm going to add the VXC. And it does just add it to the shopping cart. So let's just go ahead and deploy that now. So I'm going to click review order. Our APIs are reaching out, validating, or right now it's validating all of my configuration and setting up the API calls. And so now when I click order now, it's actually deploying that configuration on our edge and inside of AWS. So this just takes a few seconds for that to deploy. Now it's deployed. I can filter out services too, so you just see my services that I'm creating in the demo. So now I've got a connection to AWS to my MCR. Now I'm going to create a connection to GCP. So I'm going to click on connections, click on cloud, then I'm going to click on GCP. Now I need a pairing key for Google. All the cloud service providers are a little bit different, but if you create a pairing key like I did ahead of time, I can just come in here and grab my pairing key and come back into the Megaport portal, paste it in. APIs are reaching out, validating the key, and then this allows me to choose a location. So I built my AWS connection to CoreSite. I'm going to build my Google to Equinix. and it's also out of the blue zone. So I'm keeping everything in the blue zone right now. So in the event that I want to create diversity, I can come back in at a later date and add a red zone and create a complete diverse solution. So this is my GCP VXC, and I'm going to select 1 gig on this as well. You can see the pricing for the 1 gig. Again, no minimum term, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year term. And I'm going to click next. And with GCP, they don't allow you to choose your IP address scheme that you want to use across the WAN. They provide something out of the 169.254 range. It's a /29, but our APIs will reach out and grab that configuration and pull it back onto the MCR. So now I've got a connection to GCP set in here. I can go ahead and click Review Order. And I can click Order Now. Okay, now that service is deployed into Google. That should get BGP established on its own, just through API. But let me just go back over into AWS real quick and go to Direct Connect. You can see here's my Direct Connect connection. It's setting in there. It's still in an ordering state, so I won't really be able to do much with that until it's available. But I'm just waiting for AWS to make that available. I'm going to go ahead and accept that connection. But I wouldn't be able to create this virtual interface yet. Let's see, demo. I'm going to connect it to my East Direct Connect gateway. My BGP ASN is 65005. That's my Megaport cloud router. And I'm 192.168.30.1/30. And this is the Direct Connect gateway side. It's 192.168.30.2/30. This is Megaport. And I'm going to leave everything else the same. And it's probably going to give me an error. So I can come back in once that's ready and just click Order. So now let me come back in here. Next in the solution, so I've got all of this built right now. I'm going to build a connection from my neutrality data center in Kansas City on VLAN 100 on a 10 gig port in the blue diversity zone. So come back in here, click Create Port. I can type in neutrality, and you can see all of our neutrality data centers. I'm going to build it out of the 1102 Grand location and select the port size, 10 gig, port name. I'm going to call this my KC port. And I can select a term. So for a 10 gig port, I'm going to do a month-to-month term. We offer, again, the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year terms. You can order a cross connect out of here. So Megaport will manage the cross connect. It does, however, need to be on at least a 1 year term for us to order the cross connect. But if you do, it gives you the price for the cross connect for Megaport to manage that cross connect on your behalf. I'm going to leave it on a month-to-month term. Here's diversity options. So if I wanted to deploy a red and blue diversity zone, I could create a diverse pair. And then here's the lag option. So I could set this up as a single member lag today, and then gives me the ability to come back in the future, add additional 10 gig ports to be able to lag those, add to the existing lag. I'm not going to put it in a lag configuration. Click Add Port. Now I've got my port added, and let me go ahead now and build a virtual circuit from there. So I'm going to make this my A end. So I'm going to originate my connection from here, and I'm going to do a private VXC, and then I'm going to search for my MCR, and then I'm going to click Next. Connection name, I'm going to call this KC port to MCR. And I'm going to give it a rate limit of 2 gig and a VLAN of 100. And I'm going to select no minimum term, click next. 192.168.0.1/30. That's going to be my local IP in Kansas City. I'm not going to add any filters to that. I'm not going to add NAT. And then set up BGP configuration, select the local IP, select the peer IP, and BGP ASN, and password. I'll keep it the same. And leave it in enabled state. Missed the period. All right. And then click next, add VXE. Now I've got all of that configuration built. I can review order and order now. So right now I've got this fully built out. Services are probably going to start establishing. Let me create that virtual interface now. So now it's creating that virtual interface inside of AWS. I've got my connectivity set up to Google. And if I go back in the portal, you can see the services are starting to come up here. BGP is not established yet on these, but they will come up here in a minute or so. But that is pretty much it as far as what I've got to demo. So the rest of the work is inside of the cloud service provider. So if you guys have any questions or if you want to reach out at a later date, feel free to drop those questions in the chat now or reach out to me at a later date. But if there's no questions, then we can end it for today. All right, thank you. Well, everybody have a nice weekend, and thanks for attending this session.